It's always funny. It's always funny when I have to do a reset on the live. That's always a funny scenario. Hold on, let me get this thing going. Back out of here, get to the novice nose. Close the screen out here. There we go. Close it out. Let's see what we got going on. What's going on, everybody that's already in the building? I don't know if we got anybody in here, but we're about to see. Let's get up here. Let's get TV set up here so that I can see my stuff up here as opposed to having to do it on my phone. It kind of worked out last time. It kind of worked out. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm scruffy. Folk a little scruffy right now. Folk a little scruffy. Oh shoot, I got water and everything going on over here. What's going on? All right, let me see. I'm connected here. Joel in the building. What's going on? Sensei. All right, set of the day, Fragrance World, Jack of Clubs. That's that Blue Electric inspiration, right? That's actually really good. I think, did I get that a while back? And yeah, that's one that I gave my brother. I am a strong proponent of gifting. Definitely a strong proponent of that, man. Sometimes even when I like a fragrance, I'll, if I'm thinking about something else going in a different direction, or if I got more than one of the DNA, a lot of times I'll just be like, you know what, let me just go ahead and gift this out and, be done with it, get it out of the way, Thanks to everybody coming in, man, and I hope everybody's doing well. So far, so good. Scent of the day today is this guy right here. This is, of course, Aromatics new one here. This is Platine Privé. Like I say, scent of the day today. I'm actually a fan of this one. Just from what I've done with it so far, it's not bad. I feel like I'm Neeb right now. It's the many times I just sprayed it. I feel I got that Neeb feeling right now. About to dang near choke myself out up in here. Now I know how it feels when he does that. Will, what's going on, man? Scent of the day, Soul Batik. Yes. Let's see. Joe said next week, starting Sunday, I'll do samples the whole week in my new Afnan Turathi Electric. How are you liking it so far? Have you had a chance to actually put your nose on it yet and wear it a little bit? I was thinking about, so this week is going to be interesting because I've got to do the Anash Turin 31. Which is a Torino 21 inspiration. I actually got that thing in maturation right now. I went ahead and put it through the maturation process. That was the box I think I was showing on either this live or the last one. I went ahead and sprayed it out a little bit. Kind of got it, on the forearms a little bit, and it wasn't that it was bad. I felt like, how once you're doing this for a while, you know what I'm talking about, Joel, probably. You know how when you spray it out and you're kind of like, there's something, it feels like it's a little bit not grounded. It hasn't really gotten its act together. It was kind of sharp at some points, but not all of it. It's kind of hard to describe. But so what I ended up doing with it is I ended up, pushing the decan of it out and throwing it in the maturation drawer for about a week. So it's going to sit in maturation for about a week here because I want to get a good interpretation of it. So far, I will say that when I first smelled it, the leafiness, the mint is a big thing for me. I like a really good mint. And it was okay. It wasn't that bad. That was one of my favorite parts of it. But it is very much lemon heavy in the intro of it. It opens up super bright, way brighter than the actual Torino 21. So I was like, well, that wasn't the bad part because I liked the twist on it. The bad part was that there were some aspects of it that came across a little bit more synthetic. So I just went ahead and threw it in maturation. That being said, when I got this one, because they're kind of going after the same DNA, and I'm gonna probably fast track a review on this one. So the review on this one may actually come out before the review on the Anash, the Turin 31. It just kind of depends because I'm going to be, this one's already ready. So it's ready to do reviews. It's ready to, get in the air. Like you see, I just freaking almost bounced myself with it just now. But just a couple of observations from it already here, and not to really get into really like review spoiler territory. I like this a lot. The bottle is nice. I like the back of the bottle as well. The way that it's kind of outlined here with the platine blanc on the back of it. It's actually really nice. A lot of the descriptions, I think Kuba did a description on it where he was talking about it being, in a video yesterday, as a matter of fact, I think he was talking about it being kind of a mix of gin tonic from M. Micallef and Torino 21, and I definitely can see that. The one thing that I will say is that when I first sprayed it on, I was getting that heavy tonic water to it. I love the way that thing makes it have a little bit of an effervescence to it. But the mint note in there was a nice, like natural kind of, leafy style. It was way less than synthetic than I thought it was going to be. It reminded me of the way that the mint presents itself in the Attaque de l'Orange, You Are Someone Like You, in the sense that it's the same type of leafy mint that has this kind of undercurrent of this like almost like a waxy kind of vibe. It's not like completely like unnatural, but it does have a little bit of that going on. But that kind of fades really, really quick and kind of goes into more of that tonic style of vibe. I really like it. I got a lot to say about it when I get this review up. I've only had a chance to really spend time with it maybe for today. I'm going to get a couple of wearings on it probably in the next couple of days, though, and see what it's being. We're going to have some heat coming through. We're going to have a little bit of rain coming through Atlanta as well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get the real like jump that I really want to get, but we shall see. We'll definitely see. What's going on? City Paradise in the building, man. What is happening? He said, just got home from the hospital. Oh no, man, what's going on? Hopefully everything's okay, man. That's stuff we don't like to hear. We don't like to hear about hospital visits at all, unless you're there for work. Like my guy D Boogie or my guy Grim, and I think Grim is actually might be live right now too, because I just saw a notification come across my phone, man. But definitely, man, hoping that everything's good, man. You good? Like everything's because like I said, we hate hospital visits around here. Definitely hate the hospital visits, man. And definitely want to give you if everything is not so great, we definitely want to give you send you some healing energy right now, man. Definitely. Yeah, we hope everything is okay. Definitely, man. Definitely. I just got to see Will your thummy, your avatar, man, your thumbnail, your pic. The FU lupus. I like that. I like that. I lost my aunt to lupus a few years back, man. So definitely something that I can definitely support. I can definitely support that message. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of running around with this one. I definitely want to get very acquainted with it. So far, there's a little bit of a I, I'm interested to see what longevity is going to be on this one. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say, because it does have it smells great in the air. It really does. Um, Especially if you're into like summer fragrances. If you're into Torino, especially, you'll really be into this. Um, but man, you said your wife has lupus. Man, hey, look, so that FU lupus is very much warranted. Very much warranted for you, man. So I get that, definitely. Joel says, City Paradise, hope it wasn't because of the fragrances you sprayed in your mouth in the last video. Oh, Jesus. Man, oh, you smell I got a story about that. Let me read City Paradise's last one. It's like, my father, he has to be taken by EMS. He had a stroke years ago. Today he was feeling numbness in his left arm. Yeah, that was the right call. That was the right call to go to the doctor, man, and hospital and get that checked out. Um, because man, you never know. It's stuff like that is so. And you're talking to somebody who lost his mom some years back to something. Everything just seems so normal. Um, the night before, man, and she just had a little bit of a little bit of numbness in her arm. She was like, she'll be okay, and she never woke up. So yeah, it's always good to check those things, man. Take all of those things seriously. Um, He's in paradise. Hopefully he gets better soon. Yeah, definitely, man. Sending healing energy, sending prayers, sending meditations for people who not into prayers. Definitely, man. Hoping everything goes good, man. He says it's a long story, but my dad wanted to go home. My pop's stubborn. He hates doctors. I hate doctors too. Look, I don't blame him. I hate doctors too. Shoot. Hood Rich Gamer, what's going on, man? Think of House for him. Uh huh. You might have to clarify that one, Hood Rich. You might have to clarify that one, man. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what longevity is on this. I'm very interested. So this week I did a little bit of it was time for me to start really doing these, testing these fragrances that I've been having sitting there for a while. I think I showed y'all this one last time. This is the Fragrance World Salt, right? I actually like this way more than I thought I was gonna like this. Man, so this is I mentioned last time, it's kind of like a clean laundry type of vibe, right? But this thing is colored with this red fruits at the top. So you're getting this salty vibe with these red fruits, and it is actually really good. Like really good. I was surprised. And then as it gets further into the dry down, everything kind of mellows out and it gets kind of like this little air of sweetness to it off the skin, man. It kind of turns into a skin scent fairly quickly. You're looking at around like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours before it goes skin scent, but it's got a nice sillage to it and it just smells really good. You can catch pops and whiffs of it off of you at all times, man. It's really good. Hood Rich, what do you think of the fragrance Hawas for him? My bad, I was typing fast. Which Hawas are we talking about? And I'm thinking Hawas for him. They've got a lot of those contenders. You got Hawas Ice, Hawas Fire. You got Hawas Black, the Hawas Tropical, which I haven't smelled Hawas Tropical yet, but I smelled all the other ones. He said part of his brain that controls his heart rate don't work right, so his pulse changes all the time. Anyways, I'm fine. I did a blindfold challenge guessing 20 fragrances on my channel. Hey, look, that's a lot harder to do sometimes, especially if you have fragrances that have kind of a similar style of like. One of the things that kind of is strange for me and can kind of be difficult for me when I'm dealing with a fragrance scenario like that is if I'm dealing with fragrances that have a very similar style of DNA, like your fougere type of vibes. I was doing a blind with Gravitas in Second Soul one time, and I could pick out Second Soul, But then if I compare Gravitas to some of the other fougères that were out there, it was a little bit off. The only thing that really keyed me in with Gravitas is that Gravitas has a little bit of a vanillic undertone in there that is definitely identifiable, and I was on it. So it's a lot tougher, I know, than than it seems, man. All right, let's see. Okay, it's hard for me, Gator, with the slow mode on your chat. I'm used to chatting fast. So here's why I did slow mode, right? The only reason I ended up doing slow mode is because, and I'm probably not gonna do it the next time. It was not the last time, but the time before, somebody got in the live, and when I say they completely like flooded the chat, I couldn't even, kind of keep up with what was going on. It was like just the window was completely shut. Like I'm looking at the chats on the screen right now, and I couldn't see anything because it was literally that person just spam. So it was crazy, man. That's why I'm probably gonna end up. I need to go ahead and get moderators, and I probably need to get you on the job, Joe, because you are the moderator extraordinaire in the fragrance space. Let's see. Got Hawass Tropical on the way. I got 2 wrong out of 18. I did all right guessing. Yay. That's not bad. That's really not bad at all, man. Cooper Pactabar, Dua is a great house. You just came in here to troll. You came in here to troll because I don't think Dua is a great house. Actually, I don't even think Dua technically is a house. I think Dua is basically kind of like a clone aggregator. They're a fragrance aggregator. They take different fragrance DNAs and they just kind of, I feel like they're the ones that'll put it through a spectrometer, see what it is, and then just drop it. They kind of go after DNAs with no real creativity, which is not bad. I don't hate them for that. It's just that I'm never really a big fan of the way that they come out and the way that they end up smelling. Now, some of their blends, like taking a certain DNA and blending it with another DNA, almost like they're layering it for you, some of those are fire. There was one that was like an Aventus and a Baccarat Rouge one. Oh, man, my boy BT, man, put me onto that one. That one was fire. I'm not even gonna lie. That was fire. So that I could say Dua did his damn with. But some of the other stuff, I was kind of like, I'm not really a big fan of. All right. Just saying, I noticed that Lattafa Assad on your shelf, it was a buy blind. I see a lot of good reviews and bad at the same time. What's your opinion on it? You're probably talking about the Assad bourbon. So Assad bourbon is a DNA that's basically done before. Okay, if you smelled Scandal Absolute, if you smelled Scandal Absolute, if you smelled Armagh Checkmate King, if you smelled, and they're next to each other for a reason on the shelf, with that Mirabelle plum, kind of a rich lavender plus kind of sweet undertone, going into like the mids and the dry down, kind of nutty, kind of thick. In all honesty, it's good. It's good. It's a little fresher than what you would have in your Scandal Absolute, but at the same time, it's not a DNA that's like unique. It's not a DNA that hasn't been done to death. I personally, and I think I said this on a video when I did the review for it, I actually prefer the Armagh Checkmate King try and crack at that DNA than I do the Assad bourbon. But I do give Lattafa credit for taking the Assad name and trying to push it out in flankers. I think that that's probably the right call. Take one of those popular lines and kind of go after DNAs with it not it being a one-to-one or attempting for it to be a one-to-one to anything. For example, that Assad Zanzibar, while it shared a lot of LeBeau traits, it's definitely not a LeBeau clone or anything like that. They were trying to do the same thing with bourbon. They added some cacao in there to kind of give it almost a chocolatey vibe going into the dry down. If you don't have that Scandal DNA, then it's a great buy. I tell people that it's not a bad fresh fall fragrance. In all honesty, it has just the right amount of sweetness, and that cacao does give it something unique from the Scandal DNA, and it makes it actually a pretty good buy. Solid, man, and it's not an expensive buy at all. Lasts all day on clothes, lasts all day on skin. Well, I give it like 8 hours or so on skin. It's like 8 to 9 hours, but it lasts all day on clothes. It's a hoodie fragrance. You spray it on your hoodie, your girl's gonna want to wear your hoodie. It's that type of vibe. But I feel like Armagh Checkmate King actually did it. They got closer to what Scandal Absolute is, but that's not why I like it. I like it because it took a little bit of a detour from Scandal Absolute at the top, where you start getting a little bit more of the fruity nuance. That Maribel Plum kind of stays around a little bit longer, and it comes across a little bit fresher at the top than the actual Scandal Absolute does. So, I mean, I like bourbon. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna get wear during the fall. It's definitely getting wear during the fall. Probably get some wear during the winter too, because it actually does have enough oomph to kind of cut through cold too. So I like it. Long-winded way to say I like it. All right, let's see. All right, put me in, coach, as your moderator. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, man. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna learn it. Matter of fact, let me see. I might be able to knock it out. Let me see if I can. Manage block words and change that. Can review and remove chat messages or how to put user timeout. Okay. All right. There we go. Got it. So I didn't even know how to do it, but I just figured it out. All right. Let's see. Say, wow, really? They got everything. Yeah, they do. Anyways, I'm buying the new re-release next month from Louis Vuitton, the Sun Song. Never gotten to the DNA. I mean, the Dua. They're basically a clone hybrid house. Yeah. But their hybrids are kind of fire, though, City Paradise. Some of them are, at least. They say, Joel, you need a bigger toolbox. Yeah, Joel, man. Joel got so many wrenches, it's crazy. So many wrenches, it is crazy, man. But that's when you're good at what you do, bro. And this is the thing. And I think this is what kind of allows Joel to have so much value as a moderator to the masses, right? Is that he can catch a lot of things. He can actually multitask and moderate in multiple chats at the same time. But the other thing is that he's knowledgeable about fragrances as well. So he can not only moderate, but he can contribute. He's like a portable Ed McMahon. Like he can come and like add to each fragrance conversation that kind of comes around, man. So all right, let's see. Well, let's see. I like Art of Wood and Art of Nature by Lattafa. Those two smack off my arms. Probably the only two I appreciate the most. So here's the thing, man. Art of Wood, and I talk about this. I just dropped the review for the French Avenue Equestrian series, The Pierce, which is a Perseus inspiration, man. And it's not quite 1-to-1, but it's super close. It is super close, right? So the thing about it, though, is that I feel it goes a little dull as it goes into the dry down. Art of Wood is a Perseus inspiration, but it's a true inspiration because it uses that vanillic undertone. And I think that vanillic undertone that it has kind of keeps it from becoming dull. Like it actually kind of settles into like a sweeter skin scent with some citric and floral pops to it. It's actually really nice going into the dry down, man. It's more of a fall fragrance. Then again, I personally think that I think that Perseus is a fall fragrance. When people start talking about, and I'm just rehashing what I said on that video, man. When people start talking about Perseus as being like a warm weather fragrance, it kind of it doesn't upset me, but I always wonder, man, what type of humidity do you have where you're at? I'm in Atlanta. I'm sweating now. And I'm in a room right now, and I know that the AC is on. Although I don't feel it, my AC might not be on. My wife might actually be going in there to take a shower. That might be why it's getting warmer in here. But yeah, like Perseus, I think Perseus is good for like drier heat, I believe, right? I don't think that it's good for like a high humidity style of, because those florals just can make that thing cloying. Um, but yeah, Art of Wood's good. Just to say that. All right, let's see. Mo, welcome to Mo's, to quote the great Randy. Hey, what's up, everyone? Center today, pine and acacia from Scent of Woods. Excuse me, guys. Scent of Woods, man. Plum and cognac. Randy said, speaking of Randy, he sent me over that plum and cognac when I was on the show a couple of weeks ago. And I really am kind of growing to like that scent because I come in and I spray it all the time. I got a sample of a fragrance from them called Burnt Hinoki that I am a fan of. Y'all know I like kind of weird, kind of unique type of DNAs, man. This is why I was so in love with that Terre de Mes Intense with that lava rock and that subtle coffee in there. That Burnt Hinoki is really a perfect example of how weird I am with my fragrance choices. Cartier Noir Absolute. That stuff is awesome. And it smells like freaking burnt wood. It's like a piece of burnt wood that somebody threw some caramel on. It smells like if you were trying to make a caramel s'more and you put the caramel and all that on your stick and you put it in the fire and you left it in there too long and all you're smelling is burnt wood with some sweetness in there. That's basically what it is. And I love it. I actually love it. But yeah, Cinder Woods is actually a really good house. I want to get a discovery set from them. Will says Joel is definitely the most consistent. Yes, he definitely is. City Paradise, yeah, Joel is a cologne encyclopedia, which is good. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, they did a solid job on Art of Wood. Now, Art of Nature is different on my skin. It projects. It's low 60s in Ohio by me and rainy. It said, burnt wood sounds good, though. 411, what's going on, man? Nice fragrance setup. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I am running out of room. I actually ran out of room before I even got this thing finished. The setup was that I was going to have like a lighting rig and, all this kind of stuff, man. And that just never really came to fruition the way it was supposed to. Like, if you look, going to each side, it's kind of like, you run out of room. I have a couple of boards, and I actually ran out of boards. I was going to go up another rung, but man, I don't really want to get on my. I had like a little one of those little clasp things to kind of pull fragrances from the top. I was like, that's doing a little bit too much. That's doing way too much, man. So what's probably going to happen is I'm getting some more of these bed rungs, and it's gonna basically kind of go all the way around this room. Now, this isn't a huge room, um, excuse me, but I have like my work station over here for my actual job, and then I have my little area where I record videos and everything over here. When I start, my table basically, and then I have the big screen TV on the wall. It's not a big office at all, So it's like, where do you put the fragrances? Because it's getting to the point, like I said, where it's literally running out of space. So the next step is actually going to be, I have my closet there, and the closet is going to be kind of like refurbished into like a locker where I'm going to have like fragrances that I don't want to keep, that aren't like, constant reach, will be in that locker. So you'll be able to walk in and pick up fragrances from in there. And some of the higher end stuff like the Imagination, the Torino 21, which I'm getting in this week, the Deified, some of those will probably go in the locker in there. But yeah, it'll be crazy. Let's see. Birdwood sounds good. It does, actually. Hey, Liz, what's going on, Liz? How you doing? I caught you on the live. Oh, you caught me on the live tonight, man. It is good seeing you. Welcome. to the novice noses fragrance chat. Thank you for joining, man. Thank you for joining. I ain't doing nothing talk great. William Rodriguez said, Gator, do you have a favorite fragrance? No. Here's the crazy part. I've tried to isolate a favorite fragrance before. So I was on a show with Charm City, fragrance connoisseurs. It was me, him, Siage Saint, Scent Bubble, Fat Boy Finesse, man, but we were on there and we were talking about favorite fragrances. And it's like, what fragrance would you, if you could only keep one, what would be the one you'd keep? And my brain broke. My brain broke because I can't think of what it would be if I had to like only have one fragrance. So when it comes to like favorite fragrances, man, it is a difficult task. I feel like it kind of changes from day to day for me. I will say that my favorite fragrance as of right now goes back to tying it all back in to something that Joel told you, Sit in Paradise, not too long ago about a fragrance getting in your mouth or whatever. Olfactive Studios, Still Life in Rio. Okay. This fragrance, to me, is kind of like the pinnacle of what a summer fragrance should be. It is in all aspects vacation in a bottle. And I was spraying it the other day to decant it out. And I ended up getting some of the fragrance on my lips. And I was like, oh my God, I got this fragrance on my lips. And I tasted it, and it tasted like straight up like orange. It was not even the orange zest. It was just like a creamy, sweet orange. You could actually taste the coconut. Like it tasted like food. And I was like you could drink it. And I was like, so part of that's probably that it's got some naturals in it. They did a really good job with this. And it could just be that, I like the fragrance that much that I would actually drink it. But no, it's really good. This is my favorite fragrance that we got going right now. This is basically yuzu, coconut, rum. That is just like a gorgeous summer vibe. I tell people that I put this up against Afternoon Swim. I put this up against anything in the Louis Vuitton line right now, and it washes everything in there, including, I love Pacific Chill. But it's just that good. It really is that good. But yeah, if I was to choose a favorite, I can't, man. It's such a, because there are fragrances up here that I just adore. Mancera Amberful, I adore. Mancera's Fig Me Up, I adore. Mancera's Silver Blue, I adore. And that's just looking at the Manceras. Like this 10 Lapidus Poker Face, great inspiration of the Louis Delhomme. Love that fragrance, man. Arm Off Checkmate King, just talked about that one a little while ago. Love that fragrance. Spectre Wraith, as far as like winter fragrances, amazing. Hell, Hugo Reversed, this stuff. Beautiful grab and go citrus and vetiver, man, it's amazing. So it's like I can't just going through the thing. Guerlain Homme. When people talk about mojitos in a bottle, this is mojito. This is legitimate lime, peppermint, and rum, and it's amazing. And I keep saying amazing because these fragrances are good. That's just on that wall. You got Virtus Vanilla Oud. You got one of my favorites, used to be my signature fragrance up there, Lacoste L1212. You got Boston Scent Magnetic, one of my favorite winter fragrances, fall fragrances. I itch to get this thing out, man. Brioni Intense. Every year, this is just beautiful apple and oud. Man, so it's hard. It's hard to say I got a favorite. I can't, I was about to break my brain just thinking about it just now. Actually, got a little bit of interference in the mic. Hold on, guys. There we go. So yeah, sorry about the tangent. All right. No, yeah, Liz said that question's almost impossible to answer because we just have too many fragrances. Yeah, and it's not even that we have so many. We have so many. Look, I'm about to get my preacher mode on, y'all. Hold on. Because it's not even that we have that many fragrances, but I had to go ahead and get the face wiped down a little bit. But they're all so good. Sounded more like Triple H to the pastor. But anyway, there's just so many good ones that I am a fragrance lover, so I feel like there's a utility in just about every fragrance that's out there. And some fragrances not only have utility and usability, but some fragrances are just gorgeous. Some fragrances are just amazing. There's a fragrance that I have sitting over there in the corner right now that I'm just waiting on the fall to come back in so I can drop it. It's that Rasasi. It's Essential, an Ultime inspiration, and it's true inspiration because it don't smell like Ultime. But man, like it's just the watery nature of that rose in there, and it's just gorgeous. It's something about it that just triggers scent memory. Even I mean, I've never worn it for some of the memories that it like brings up, but it brings up scent memory. Another fragrance that's probably going to do that for me, Eight and Bob Egypt, and I have that sitting over there. I love Eight and Bob Egypt. Eau Givray, the summer fragrance. I love Eau Givray. It does that, brings up scent memory. I got a feeling this one, and this one is actually going to be, just from what I'm getting from it so far, And if y'all know me, y'all know I wasn't the biggest fan of Royal Taboo or Carnal Desire. I wasn't the biggest fan. I probably will end up getting Royal Taboo in the fall, but that was good. It really does invoke like memories of like a cooling summer breeze. Gorgeous. See, Chiquiteri from Mancera. That's another one. It's already become one of my favorites in my collection. Those types of things, man. Scent memories. That's what it's all about. I love that. And that's what, fragrance is. Fragrance is about, having those scent memories, these fragrances that trigger scent memory. And it's amazing when it does. Let's see. Ooh. We come down in the chat a little bit. All right. Yeah, some of my subs asked me that as of right now, though. Mirage Exotique is my favorite tropical scent by Les Nobles Essences. I've heard that's good. Have not smelled it yet, but I've heard it's good. I have. Joel, I know you've tried it. It said I couldn't tell you how many Manceras I own. I think I'm close to 20 now. Yeah, I got something like that right now, too. Blind Buy Safe, in your opinion, which one? Because man. Speaking of Guerlain, I think Guerlain Ideal EDT is one of the most slept on fragrances out there. It really is. As a matter of fact, I was looking at it on, was it Fragflex that I was on? I think it was. I think it was Fragflex. And they had it. And I'm thinking about bringing that in. That and the the Givenchy Gentleman EDT Intense. Because I think Jen Sense was talking about it the other day, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that fragrance. I may need to go ahead and bring that thing in. Let's see. You say old school preaching. Yeah. Will says, if you like Amberful, you should try Acagila Mandarino. So it's on my radar. That's that New Notes fragrance. There's a couple things from New Notes that I love that Latte Pistachio. It's one that just it's got to come in. Acagila Mandarino. And there's another one that I saw that I think I'm going to end up putting on a decant dive soon. But yeah, I'm hearing that one specifically is kind of a slept on style of like spring fragrance, and I'm interested in putting my nose on it. Say, speaking fragrance sprayed in my mouth, Joel. A sub I'm friends with actually sprayed his cologne in his mouth on one of his shorts. Hey, you know what? Live your life, man. You know, if you wanna drink your juice, man, drink your juice. You know, you paid for it. And I can tell you this much: five squirts of Guerlain mojito style right there is gonna cost you a lot more than a mojito in the store. But hey, live your life, man. Live your life. You know what? There's so much, and this is the reason I went on live Sunday. So much stuff going on in the world that, hey. Naturally, say, tell me what you like about latte pistachio, please. So I'm a pistachio fan, so I kind of like that nuttiness, but it's this the way that it presents. It's just such a it's such a smooth like vibe, and it does give like a little bit of a saltiness as it kind of goes into at the top. It kind of moves away from that. It kind of goes into like this creaminess, and at least on my skin, it kind of goes into like this creamy vibe that I am a fan of. It starts to really get to me. I feel like it's not uber sweet. Like some pistachio fragrances, they put so much other stuff in there that it comes across as uber sweet. Latte pistachio to me comes across more like a realistic fragrance pistachio than it does like a candle. Like sometimes people go for like pistachios and it comes across smelling like a candle. I feel almost a pistachio style and texture with latte pistachio. Now I've only done the decant and did like one wearing of that one, but that's one that I was like, I'm probably going to end up getting a full bottle of. Now that being said, Liz, I watched a video of yours the other day where you were talking about, I got this sample and I was into it. And I was like, this is gonna be full bottle worthy. And then you got the bottle, and it was like, oh, this is that bull. I'm very kind of that makes me a little bit trepidatious about buying those, because that does happen. Mancera, I like for real, I had bought a sample of infamously. There we go. I bought a carded sample of the Mancera Fig Me Up, and the carded sample gave something completely different than the decanted sample that I got like a week or so later. And that and it was different than the bottle as well. Like the decanted sample and the bottle that I got were completely different than the vibe on the carded sample. And it made me like, oh, yeah, I gotta really be careful with carded samples going forward. Because the carded sample for Cinque Terre was the same way. Which sucks because I'm a Mancera fan, and I was colored with the Cinque Terre. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it as much after I do dealing with it on the carded sample. I was still like, maybe I'll get a full bottle of it though. And then I was kind of going back and forth, back and forth. But then I actually thought about the fact that, oh, it probably hadn't sat long enough, because with the Fig Me Up, it was a completely different vibe. So went with the bottle of Cinque Terre. So glad I went with it, because like I said, it's one of the favorites in the collection right now. Let me see. They said the only three I didn't blind buy were Pacific Chill, French Defense, and your own Parfum 25 version in my collection. Hey, I try my best not to blind buy anything. Like, I really try my best not to blind buy anything. If you were to see, let's see. So, this drawer has tons of these, and this is me writing on here as well, where I literally have decants of all of these fragrances, and there's like dozens and dozens of these packs in there. Not counting the other, I decant just about everything. So there's in this drawer by itself, there probably has to be 150, 160 decants sitting in there. And it's just because I don't believe in, blind buying for a clone is okay. I can see that. But what I don't like to blind buy is stuff that actually costs money, 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 money. Like, I am not about to blind buy. As much as I love certain fragrances from Guerlain, not about to blind buy anything from Guerlain, man. The only exception to that is when I know that a fragrance is just that thing. Givenchy, Society, all three. The original Society, Society Extreme, Society Ombre, blind buys. Because I know what it's gonna be. I know I'm gonna like it just because I know the DNA. If it's a fragrance that it's flankers basically. If I know that I'm gonna like if I like a DNA, then I'm not opposed to blind buying the flanker on the DNA most of the time. Let's see. Kid Panda, yo, what's going on? Liz said, yeah, samples could be misleading for sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely misleading. And that's an understatement. Say, I definitely think the full bottle experience is different than samples. Yeah, William, I agree. I agree. City Paradise said, Joel, I'll probably do it again at a later blind buy, folded when I got newer stuff and try to guess 100 bottles. That's a lot of bottles to be guessing, man, City Paradise. But I love everything in my collection. I guess you could say I'm open-minded and not picky with specific scent profiles. The only I really hate is Lattafa's Maillard Cherry Intense. It's horrible. That was one that I got a sample on, and I hated it. So that one, and I got that one, a sample of that at the same time I got Mashraba, and I can't stand Mashraba. To me, everybody's like, well, it's just a hookah. It smells like a hookah. I don't want to smell like hookah. I don't want to smell like hookah unless I'm trying to adjust my mic and my shirt because it was kind of moving down a little bit. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, I don't want to smell like a hookah. I really don't. Unless I'm in there doing hookah, I don't want to smell like a hookah. It don't make no sense for me to. But the fragrance, I don't like fragrances that smell like candles. I don't want to smell like a candle. As much as I love mancera, see that Amore Cafe, and I got that. Look, I got that in there right there. Amore Cafe, beautifully done fragrance. But Amore Cafe also smells like a candle. Smells like you're gonna light it in the room. Yeah, it's horrible when it comes to that. Now, on a woman, I think a woman could pull off Amore Cafe pretty well. I think that as a guy, it's a little bit harder to kind of flex that DNA. I really do. I love it. I would love a Amore Cafe candle. But I don't want to wear it. So that was one of the manceras. I was like, you know what? I'm going to pass on that one. And actually, you should love everything in your collection. That's one of the things that I tell people. If there's something that I don't love, excuse me, I get rid of it. This is part of the reason why I think it's so important to decant and to sample, because you don't even want to bring it in if you don't, find some utility for it in your collection. You don't necessarily have to love every single thing. Some stuff is just a strong like. There's stuff in my collection that were strong likes that I kind of grew into loving. I love the utility of. For example, This guy, Dunhill Century Blue. Love this bottle, man. This is the funkiest bottle. The orb, as I call it. This is a blue fragrance with some iris in there to kind of give it like a buttery mid. And it's actually lasts a pretty long time. This is a wonderful office scent. When I say wonderful, it's affordable around that $25 to $30 price point. It has this, like I said, gorgeous like freshness to it. That buttery iris in the mids. It's not super interesting, but it's not utterly boring either. It's kind of that mid-range area, and it's something that doesn't wear too heavy in hot weather. And in the office, it gives you just enough of kind of a scent bubble to where you're not overwhelming people. It's really nice. And this was a strong like for me, but man, when I go into the office, this always comes up as a fragrance I could be like, man, I could just do a quick, spray on and go into the office because you're not going to offend anybody and you may get compliments on it. It's just that easy with this one. And it's the bottle. The bottle, man. The bottle. But that's an example of one of those that it was like it became a stronger like for me. Roblin Vintage. Now, cheating on this one because I actually brought this one in for a review. It was a nice like for me, but man, I wore it in that last cold snap, and I just found myself continuously catching whiffs of it and catching that kind of slightly oak barrel-y kind of weedy type of vibe to it. And man, I was just like, I smell good. And I got a few compliments on it too. So, it became one that I was like, I think this has a lot of utility in my collection. City Paradise says Zaharoff frags I did sample first, except Extreme and the latest Seraphim Musk. He say, wait, a hookah? Yeah, I don't want to smell like a hookah. Seraphim Musk, I did not. I've got a bunch of Zaharoff samples over here right now. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at Seraphim Blue, Seraphim Red, Aurum, Citrine, Coco Loco, Halfetti Rose and Tobacco Rose. Not Tobacco Rose, Halfetti. No, got the other one. Sit over there. It's one of the roses, the other rose. But yeah. But Seraphim Musk, I was like, I like the other two. And I like the vibe that, the thought of what Seraphim Musk was. And I have not seen many people use ebony wood. If you've never smelled ebony wood, it's got almost a lacquer type of vibe to it. It's got a richness to it, man, that when I saw that on the note breakdown, I was like, that's going to be interesting. So I'm excited about that one, man. It was a blind buy. And plus, Ross jumped in the chat. George Zaharoff jumped in the chat. Maybe that was the last time we were on. George Zaharoff jumped in the chat, man, and sent me, a $50, just to be like, hey, man, I love what you're doing, man, and you talk good about the products. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I am, because I actually like products. I like those seraphims. I like a lot of the things that, man, Aurum is such a beautiful honey, like such a photorealistic honey. Oh my God, it takes mastery to really bring about a photorealistic vibe. Because even if you got the naturals will degrade and they'll do different things. So you have to do things that will bring out the aroma in the naturals. And the way that the Zaharoff, that signature Aurum plays, my wife hates it because she's like, it smells like cough medicine. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, it smells like that honey that they used to put on your, it was like a honey cough medicine that she used to take when she was a little girl. I was like, yeah. And she was like, it was pure honey. And I was like, that's exactly what this is. It's pure honey, and it comes across really, really well. See, City Paradise said, candle vibes from More Cafe. Interesting. Said I never got that one. Yeah. More Cafe is interesting, man. And the fact that I do get candle vibes from it. Naturally, Liz said, I'm still undecided about a More Cafe. I think I don't know if you had that one or not. I think I remember seeing you say something about it. It's, to me, like I said, I like the fragrance itself. It's just not something that I would wear. Right. Um, I just can't see myself wearing it. Now, that being said, I just went, wax poetic on Signature Aurum and how it's such a photorealistic honey. Well, I mean, Amore Cafe is kind of like a sweet photorealistic Starbucks run, to be honest. But, it just doesn't play as well as a scent, just in my personal opinion. Maillard Cherry Intense does have a decent dry down. I just can't get past the opening and cherry cough syrup. A friend of mine wants it, so I'm gonna ship it to him. Yes, send it out. Mr. Clark, 30, in the building. What's going on, man? What is happening? Joel said apparently that Citrus Blue is easier to take out the magnetic cap when you twist and lift, from what I heard, because people have a hard time with it. It is, yeah. If you twist it and lift it, it'll come off. It'll pop off a lot easier. I saw people struggling with it on a video one time, man. This is such an interesting bottle. The fragrance is nice too, but it's such an interesting bottle here, man. Like I usually just pop it off, right? Decent atomizer too. Let me see if it'll. Decent atomizer. Whew, man, and you know what? I'm a sucker for iris. I love a good iris. And this one, the price betrays the quality of the iris in here. This is a buttery, like not quite, Dior own lipsticky, but it's got that it goes in that direction with the way that the iris plays off. And then you just have your standard blue tendencies in here. You've got your freshness. It's got to be a lavender. I believe it is a lavender in here. I can't even remember the notes in here, but it comes across as uber fresh. Slightly minty. It's kind of shower jelly blue, but with a lot more of an interesting detour that iris kind of puts into play, right? So it really is, like I said, the price point betrays the utility and how gorgeous of a fragrance it is, especially if you get this thing and this has been sitting. This has been sitting for a while, and this is probably going to get worn on Tuesday when I go into office. Now that I'm thinking about it, beautiful fragrance though, beautiful. And like I said, $25 price point. People are looking at the bottle and they're like, "Oh, it's a goofy bottle, man. I don't want to get it because it's a goofy bottle." But the fragrance is really nice. It really is, man, and it's just unoffensive and sneakily strong, because you can get away with like the 6 sprays on this one, the 6 to 8 sprays. You don't want to do much more than that. You don't want to do much more than that because it will last. All right, let me see here. I'm gonna go back to, I think Kid Panda in the building. What's going on, Kid Panda? Quick question. I want to give Tom Ford Oud Wood to back Oud. I don't hydrate a lot when I want to smell it on. Oh, I didn't hydrate a lot when I went to smell it on, so longevity wasn't good. Ever had an experience on first skin underperformed but better later? Yeah. I can tell you now, one of the ones that I had that happened with was this one. This is Rasasi Ivories. Now, I don't talk about this one a lot. I haven't really busted out of it any. And I was supposed to do a review on it and hadn't done it yet. But this is basically your standard, like, fresh aquatic fragrance, man. A little lavender in here. musky, super, super musky, right? Longevity on this thing was awful the first time I sprayed it on. But like, and I knew I was a little bit, I hadn't lotioned up. I hadn't done all of that kind of stuff. I just kind of sprayed it to do whatever. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be testing it today. Let me go ahead and do my normal hydration routine where I use like my little unscented body butter and hydrate with my lotion and all that kind of stuff. And man, this stuff lasted like 8 or 9 hours on my skin. I was still getting pops of this. I was like, huh, okay, this is nice. So eventually I'm gonna do the review on this eventually. But yeah, it does happen. It really does happen. Another one that's up here, Bentley for Men Absolute. Similar scenario with this one, where I legit, like the first time I wore it, I wasn't really getting good longevity on it, but I was a little bit dehydrated on this one. Sprayed it on again, got decent longevity. That's my Home Depot fragrance, by the way. I don't wear it a lot. I call it Home Depot. Like it literally smells like cut wood, like the wood section in Home Depot. It's just because really all it is cedar. That's all it is. And it definitely smells like if you go into Home Depot right after they start their machines in there and you walk over there towards the wood, that's exactly what it smells like. It has utility. It really does. Like it's a great layering fragrance. If you want to masculine up a sweeter vibe, for example, if you take a fragrance like Care Pistachio, you got Care Pistachio, which is, I love it. It's frothy, marshmallowy. It's inspired by Kayali, Yum Pistachio Gelato. It's fun. It's just fun. It's a fun fragrance, man. I saw Ross and TLTG talk about this one. I was like, let me try that. Let me see. And yeah. But you take a fragrance like that, something that's gonna be kind of fun, playful. People might think it's slightly lean and feminine, and you put like a base layer of like an absolute, that rich cedar in there, give kind of like a little more of a masculine lean to it. It's a great little trick to kind of get some utility out of those sweeter fragrances, and probably get good compliments on it too. Let's see. All right, I've got to go back in the chat right now because I had to skip over some stuff. All right, let's see. All right, and okay, it'll eventually close here. There we go. I had to close the little window. All right, let's see. City Paradise said, I'm fond of ebony wood, pause. So I'll be happy when mine arrives too. Signature, I say, Aurum is a beautiful scent. I always have sprays left in my sample. The best honey scent I came across, like eating a French honeycomb. It really is. It really, really is. I didn't even see the message you deleted, Joe, but you deleted, you was on that one. Liz said, I have it. I blind bought it and wasn't in love with it. I think coffee is throwing me off. Yeah, it's a weird one. I really do think that a more cafe is better served as like a candle vibe. And I think, like I said, if you're a woman, I think you could kind of get away with it. As a guy, it's one of those that I don't know if you could really get away with, Let's see. To the Paradise, you know what I'd like to see from Chanel, a Bleu de Chanel elixir and the Aurum elixir. So Bleu de Chanel elixir, I know that they're supposed to be dropping that absolute exclusive later in the year. I'm interested in seeing what that's supposed to be. I think they did kind of do like a note breakdown. My thought on a Bleu de Chanel elixir, because I love Bleu de Chanel parfum, my thought was, man, add something that will throw people off. Like add a tobacco, like a rich tobacco to the base, or, because I don't want to oud stuff to death. So I was like, maybe a rich tobacco, or maybe even take that Bleu de Chanel DNA and add like a rum to it. Something that's going to give it a little bit of a depth in there as it goes into the dry down. Yeah. I see you up there, Will. Have a good night, man. I'm kind of fishing through the fishing through the comments, but have a good night, man. I appreciate you stopping in, and everybody that's in here, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Hit it, 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 hit it. All right, let's see. All right, anyways, my scent of the night is Creed Aventus Cologne. You smell good. Yes, you do. If you got Creed Aventus Cologne, you definitely do. Kid Panda said also Chanel the Blue Parfum, YSL Y Man, and Dior Elixir. Tell me those three don't smell similar, but different note arrangements. They smell extremely similar. Yeah. I think you can take the Dior Elixir Sauvage Elixir out of there only because Sauvage Elixir just has that licorice in there. And you know what's interesting about that? I'm a fan of it. When I first smelled Elixir, I felt like it was like old man. But then after a while, just kind of spending time with it, it's like, this makes you feel like you can conquer the world. This is some boardroom bully type stuff and some bedroom bully type stuff. It's that kind of vibe, man. So I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know if I compare it to those DNAs, but it's good. I think the other two are more of a comparison, the Bleu de Chanel and the Y. All right. Lou Dissel in the building. What's going on, man? You say you see you representing who that? Who that, man? You know, you definitely got to represent. You got to represent them boys, you know? Definitely got to, man. Let's see. Oh yeah, or a cognac and a Bleu de Chanel elixir would be grand. Yeah, a cognac. And that's what I'm thinking when I was like, maybe like a rum or something that's going to be deep. Like a cognac would be even better because it's going to be a deeper vibe of a liquor. So I think that would actually be even better to do that because I think that's what it needs. It needs something that's going to kind of deter, because I don't know a lot of Chanels that use like liquors in it. So I think it would be a little bit of a departure from their normal. And I think it would be a needed departure. I think it would be something that would get the base excited because we get excited about Bleu de Chanel because it's Bleu de Chanel. But if there was something else that kind of made people really interested in going to go smell it, I think that'd be great, man. I think that would be awesome. Let's see. One last thing. Oh yeah, make sure y'all hit the likes, man. I'm about to get out of here because in a little while I'm gonna get beat up. Now let me tell you why I'm gonna get beat up. Because I went and got dinner a little while ago, and I was like, let me go ahead and pop on live for a little bit, see what everybody's doing, see how everything is shaking, and just kind of talk to folks, man. Show off the what you call it. Which by the way, Neeb did a I like this. I really like this. Neeb did a video where he was talking about some of the ones that were coming up. And one of them he brought up was like a signature scent worthy blue. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. Blue? Okay. You getting the blue? Okay. See these blues? One thing I love is a good blue. Heck, blues that ain't even on the screen right now. Shoot, I'm a greeby blue, which is another one that I got to go ahead and do a review on because I love blues. Just talked about Century Blue. Of course, Boucheron, Singulier. This is grown man blue. Blue, one of the best blues. Love 7 Cobalt. And of course, I was wearing deep blue parfum the other day. The blues, I just love blues. So this is going to be one that I'm going to probably get. Like I've never, like I said, I smelled Carnal Desire and I was like, okay, cool. Royal Taboo, okay, cool. I think that Crimson is a better inspiration of that Centaurus, because that's kind of what Royal Taboo is going after, is Centaurus. Crimson knocks that out of the water if it comes to Centaurus interpretations. Not even gonna lie, man. But so I was like, yeah, they're okay. This was the one that interested me because of what it was going after. And then, it's summertime. I told y'all I'm on my summer bag right now. So if it ain't fresh, it ain't me. If it ain't, something that's gonna be nice and summertime ready, it ain't me. I'm just not buying anything that ain't summertime ready. Rare Reef will be here next week. Memories of Summer will be here next week. With the exception of Seraphine Musk, and I think Seraphine Musk can actually be worn in warm weather, even with that ebony wood, which I'm just, the resonance of that breakdown just has me excited. Anyway, but yeah, man, so, but I was like, let me try it. Let me see what it's going to do. And like I said, it's not, so far, it's not disappointing. And again, this is going to be one that is going to probably end up, I'm going to spend a little bit more time with it and see what it does. And then I have Anash, the Anash Torino 31. That's another Torino 21 vibe. So I'm going to be in that Torino 21 bag for a good bit, man, for the next few weeks, man. I'm a big fan of mint. So that's good. That's actually where I'm headed with it. You said I've never checked any Neve stuff yet. I do hear good things. I was surprised, man. Because like I said, I liked Royal Taboo. I just wasn't like, I just felt like Centaurus is, Crimson is a better version of Centaurus. So I was just kind of a little bit, kind of on the, just kind of wavering a little bit. But when I saw the notes on this one, I was like, let me go ahead and pop it up and see what it'd be like. And like I said, so far, I'm not disappointed with it. I think that it's got a lot of utility for the summer. I don't know about going forward, but definitely for the summer, I think it's going to work. I mean, that he talked about the effervescence of it and what they were thinking about when they went into this fragrance, especially in the opening. And you definitely get that tonic water vibe in here. You're definitely getting a little bit of a sparklingness, a little bit of an effervescence that's coming around in here. The main character in here is the mint, though. And I love it because I love mint. And it is a leafy mint. It doesn't smell overly synthetic like a lot of clone mints do. I mean, let's just be real. A lot of clones, a lot of, and I don't really think this is a true clone. I think it's inspired by a couple of different DNAs, but it does have a more of a leafy green mint style than something like a Vuzingi, which is another Torino 21 inspiration. This one has a little bit more of a syntheticness to it. I also get a little bit more of a lemony type of vibe, which makes me kind of tie this more into, and I think Ross said it too, ties it more into like a Renaissance. But I will say this, man. Oh, Lou, before you get out of here, man, did you get my little scent package I sent you? I just got to make sure that you actually got it. But yeah, so as this ages, it's getting better. Like it is getting richer as it sits. And like I sprayed it the other day, had it on arm, and I was like, I'm still smelling it 7 hours later. And it doesn't feel nearly as synthetic as it initially did. I'm going to revisit this in about a month because I got a feeling that this thing is going to turn into a monster. Or it's already turning into a monster. But this is already a bomb, man. This is already bombing. I like it. I like it a lot. This is already the bomb, not bombing. It is already the bomb. It's already doing well. In the climate of today, don't necessarily want to use those words in conjunction to each other. So this is doing well. It is very much doing well. You say Lou Dissel, yeah, bro, my bad, forgot to tell you. We'll definitely put the loose. Haven't figured out which one I'm going to cop yet. I think I sent you Chink to Tear and Fig Me Up. Chink to Tear, you can't go wrong with either one of them. Either one of them you can't go wrong with, bro. You really can't. Yeah, I mean, I think both of them are awesome. Guys, I'm gonna get out of here, like I said, before I get beat up, because my wife gonna come through here and give me one of them nice, firm kung fu kicks to the face. Because I know she probably hungry. Because if my stomach is going brr, 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 then I know hers is too. So, guys, I think I'm gonna drop my. I had a rant that I did about Art of Universe. I may drop that tomorrow. It's just a long, like 15, 16, 17-minute rant about it. So may drop that tomorrow, but next week, definitely dropping the videos for Ex Vetiver, dropping the video for Mandarino de Sicilia, and dropping the video probably for the Still Life will probably be this week coming up. And I actually am going to go ahead and drop a video for Coconut Lagoon. Man. Can't wait to drop this video. Can't wait to drop this one. All right, Kid Panda say MFK Baccarat Rouge 450 or 540, Extrait de Parfum or Silk Satin Mood, Extrait de Parfum Baccarat. Because Silk Satin Mood is such a situational thing where if you're, it take you, that's a certain occasions type of fragrance. Certain occasions. City Paradise, later, bro. Well, bud, I'll be live tomorrow for sure. Yeah, I'll jump into your live, man. I'll definitely do that tomorrow. Lou Dissel said, have a good with everyone. Naturally Liz, everyone have a good night. Coconut Lagoon is fire. Yes, it is. As we say, guys, every time we do this thing, wherever you're doing, however you're doing it, make sure you make today the best day ever on purpose. Peace out.